It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Sorry about that. Had a little technical difficulties there. But I wanted to talk about Dave Matthews Band weekend number one of this spring/summer tour. And it was a weekend that to me was what I was telling people that was the possibility of what this could be for 2018, which was an amazing weekend. Got a bunch of liberations as far as songs that had not been played for a while. And we also had a different sound, but it was a good different sound. So let's talk about these shows, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some miscellaneous stuff because there's still those debates going on about Boyd being replaced and a kind of how is this still is this band gonna how long are they gonna continue after this? So we'll talk about that in a second. But this weekend, as far as just being on the couch listening to low quality videos, some medium quality videos and audio, shout out to those tapers and those people that were periscoping because we won't get some of this taper audio for a bit. Maybe as I'm recording this, some of it's coming out, but at least from the periscopes, from some of these cell phone and kind of camera videos, people do still have the cameras. I use those for Concert Viz 34 content because it's a little better. We do have a little bit of a feeling of the sound ish, but we'll have to wait until the tapers get their audio out for the next couple of weeks to really make a full scale determination. But a lot of liberations. They start off the entire tour with the new song Come Tomorrow, which sounds pretty cool. And then let's talk Liberations Night 1, Louisiana Bayou. We have number 27, What You Are, Stand Up, parentheses for it. These are big liberations as far as, for a band that has to create a new sound. They really went for it. And that's what I want. I know they're not going to be Fish and play out the set list every night differently, and they'll go on a 7-day stretch where they don't repeat a song. That's not DMB. But when you have new songs, it's a breath of fresh air, especially when you have literally new songs like Come Tomorrow, and then you have songs that are being back in the rotation after being in prison for years and years. Now, the stand-up songs, I'm not a huge fan of, Louisiana Bayou and Stand Up For It, but to hear them is a nice mix-up. Number 27, I heard that back in 2014, right before it got canned. It's a good song too. I really like it. But What You Are is the song that I've been chasing and wanting to hear. So hopefully they play that at SPAC Night 2, Hartford or Mansfield. Here where I'll be most likely going to Hartford, and I have stuff set up for SPAC in Mansfield. And then we want to talk about the second night and some of the liberations and some of the things going on. So let me go to my DMB Almanac for the second night. We have a song debut in the song She. I got to listen to that a little more, but I'll be giving an album review of Come Tomorrow and giving more of a review of the newer music live once I can get taper audio. But the liberations steady as we go. Again, not my favorite DMB song, but I would like to hear it. It's better than hearing the same stuff like we did in 2016 where you had a couple liberations, but it just was too predictable. So we'll see how that goes because hearing Old Dirt Hill acoustically last year with Dave and Tim changed my whole mindset of that song. So who knows if I hear some of these stand-up songs that I just don't like, and I've heard live versions of for high quality, high res taper audio, maybe I'll like it if I see it live. And then let's talk about Lying in the Hands of God, having an American Baby interpolation here. This was awesome because what this does is first, I would love to hear Lying in the Hands of God. I know many of the Big Whiskey tour heavy fans don't like that song because it was played, and it can get kind of played out literally if you were on these tours, if you were on the Caravan back when Big Whiskey first came out. And I understand that, but I love the song because I've only heard it, I think I heard it my first show in 2012, and I think I heard it a second time on one of the 2013 songs or 2014. But I think it was was it or 2015? I think I heard it twice. But I mean, this is amazing because you kill two birds with one stone. Just like with Two Step, you get a little bit of a Time Bomb feel when they have the Time Bomb interpolation and lyrics. I it's a great way again to have them have a kind of less song. You know, they're not going to be like Fish, but you get two songs for the price of one, and it brings that end of Lying in the Hands of God up. So you're going to pay attention to the end because it can be a long jam, and because of that, people got bored of it and went to sleep and things like that. So I think that's another great thing. Let me check my apple pie. Oh, I'm good. Okay, I got a pie in the oven. I made a pizza from scratch. So I'm about to eat that after this video. But anyway, I just like what they did with these sets, just looking at them on paper and listening to the songs too. They sound good. That's what I want to talk about next. I love uh, Buddy Strong and the organ and the keys. Songs like Gray Street, which to me, I like it to be slower, but I understand. Look, they're not going to change that. It's a battle I won't win. But when you have that organ, it just adds another element to it because we've heard Gray Street time and time and time and time again. It's the 16th time they played it at the Woodlands, and many other venues like Hartford and SPAC have even more plays of Gray Street. But when you have an organ, it just sounds different. It makes you more engaged. If you're a guy like me who goes to a lot of shows, or you're a guy that goes to more shows than me, I've been to, I believe I'm at 13 now, DMB shows, and that's since 2012. But I know many people who have 40, 50, 80, 80 shows, some of these forms. So it's nice. And then 41, it was nice. Pretty much a lot of the songs that were played and I heard, the organ just adds a different element. And this may be controversial, but sometimes when Boyd plays, the screeching of the violin is annoying. Now, some songs like Lie in Our Graves and Ants, he is amazing. But sometimes, like for What Would You Say, the newer versions of that, when you hear Boyd screech, 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 it's, oh, my ears pop. And that's just my personal opinion. And look, he's a talented musician. But it's nice to hear What Would You Say without that little screeching. And that's been a thing. The eking and screeching has been a complaint of many fans. So it's nice to just hear it without it. But, songs like Ants are going to be different. Now, Ants, I thought they did an amazing job with Ants to end the regular set in Dallas. I thought they did an amazing job. And people in the night before were like, oh my gosh, they butchered it. They did it wrong. That was take one. These boys have been practicing. They're professionals. And I love how they did that. And, I'm very excited. These two shows have made me even more excited to see the band and see how they sound. And like I said, embrace change. Because, look, for all we know, they may get a violinist next year. They may do some other stuff, and it's going to sound more like the same. Enjoy this year because it will be different. In variety, too many people, including myself, we get caught up in the daily, hearing the same stuff, doing the same stuff. When you have a little spontaneous mix up in your schedule, it makes life better, and that's what I'm excited for. Now, let me check my pie again. Okay, hold on. Give me one. I will be right back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, the thing I want to talk about now is replacing Boyd in the mindset of management and DMB. So I was on a little debates on Facebook here and there for DMB family, and I've been on the Ants a little bit, but there's a debate of what they should do, what the band was thinking, and criticizing the band for what they were thinking. The first thing I'll say, and I'll repeat this from another video that I had, it's not easy to get a professional fiddle player or violinist to hop on tour because DMB plays tons of shows, okay? And these aren't indoor climate control. Remember, a lot of violinists at these orchestras and fiddle players, they're not playing outdoors in Houston and in Dallas, which I've been to Houston in March, and I mean, that's hot enough in March, let alone in May. And you're going across the country in the Midwest in these open stages, loud noises. People are screaming. Some of these periscopes, some of y'all fans need to just shut up. I'm sorry. Yelling out the song. Yeah, I like yelling out songs too. a little bit more quietly and a little further away from the stage. When I'm in the pit, I shut up. But some of y'all fans need to shut up. I'm sorry. Like, y'all are too loud. Like the whole during the songs, like some of these scopes, you were hearing people. Anyway, the point is this is a different environment than most violinists are used to. So that by default is going to eliminate a bunch of people. Then the touring schedule, and then the idea, all these fans who think DMB in 3 months could get a violinist, you don't understand how professional musicians operate. They set their schedule in the fall of the previous year for that entire year. If you're a professional violin player, you're going to Disney. I've actually been behind the scenes at Disney because I played clarinet in high school, and Disney's calling you up saying, "Hey, we got this movie. We need you to do a couple recordings for this movie." This is months in advance, sometimes even years in advance. So that's one thing. These violinists that potentially are professionals, it's going to take time for them to well in advance to get their schedule set for the entire year, because again, most violinists aren't getting rock star money. Now some of them can get paid well, but they're not getting rock star money. So to support their families, they have to be practical and they got to secure the cash in advance. So when these things happen in February, you're looking for someone to do 30 plus dates. If they do a fall tour, and that's 40, 50 dates easily, and you have rowdy fans, a party environment, that eliminates what you can do this year. And then on top of all that, okay, are they a fit with this band? People talk about Coffin hopping in. Coffin had 30 shows, 30 plus appearances with DMB, and is in a similar genre-ish of what DMB does. So, and then he struggled. He listened to his iPod between shows. He talked about it on different interviews and recordings. And he was playing 30-minute 41. He was popping in on those type of stuff. So he had 30 plus shows, which some people could say it's not a lot, but still 30 shows for one band to guest in, that's still, to me, that's impressive. And Jeff is on saxophone, which sax players can fit into a Bruce Springsteen. They can fit into even like if a U2 or a Pink Floyd, if Roger Waters is touring and he's a sax player, or Gilmore needs a sax player, you can get a sax gig in a rock star type environment, a jam band environment. But violinist is very rare. You got the Michael Kangs as far as string cheese, but other than that, and Zach Brown-ish, they're not really jam band to me. They mix up their sets, but it's really more preset what those fiddle players are going to do in a Zach Brown, or if you're in like a country music band, it's more set. You know what you're going to do every night. So again, it's different with a fiddle player. And then here's the thing. Some people are saying, oh, they should do open tryouts, blah, blah, blah. This is the NBA, this is the NFL of live music, what DMB does. They're not doing the same set with the same pyrotechnics every night, and they're doing long shows, okay? So you can't just get some kid. You can't do an American Idol with this fiddle player. Now, they may be more talented than Boyd, but to do it for all the tour dates you have to do it, to be on a bus, to be on a flight, it's exhausting. And if you get some kid off the street, even if they're talented, it's not going to be an easy feat to have the stamina for that tour. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You may have some violinists that are used to a sprint or a 5K or a 10K or a half marathon. But to do the DMB tour is a marathon. And much is expected. So some people that think that it's just going to be that easy, no, it's not going to be that easy. And with all of that said, okay, some people are upset. Oh, they should get DMB may not want a violinist. And to me, that's fine. And here's the biggest thing. This is even my opinions, thoughts. We can throw them out the window. Unless people stop showing up to Saratoga Springs every year, stop showing up to Hartford, Mansfield, they'll cut dates. You could look, if people don't show up to Houston because DMB lost a fiddle player, they'll just play the East Coast. But if fans stop going to the Gorge, they stop going to Saratoga Springs, the Alpine. Oh wait, there's no Alpine. Sorry, I didn't mean it. That wasn't even a knock. But if they stop going to these shows in the Mecca venues, as far as the most popular DMB's tour stops, they're not going to get, there's no incentive to get a fiddle player. Because again, tickets are still sold out. You go on StubHub, you go somewhere else, and I'm going to be getting secondary tickets most likely for Hartford. The ticket prices are still up. Unless people start, the tickets drop, the demand is down. Next year, there's slow sales, which all they'll do is cut the shows anyway. They're not going to be like, oh, shoot, we need a fiddle player. If the shows are popping, if people are reacting like they did this weekend, the majority of people on social media were happy, and social media is critical, which means the majority of people in general, maybe many of them aren't on social media, they're still going to have a ball. In the lawn areas here in Connecticut, people still going to go there just to get drunk and dance to DMB. They don't care there's no violence. Oh, what happened to Boyd? He's not here. Look, the majority of fans will still be there. And if demand goes down, which this band kind of is slowly slipping down a little bit with demand because their fan base is getting older. You know, it's not 1999 anymore. So people have families, they can't get to many shows. You know, if things don't drastically change, there's no incentive to get a fiddle player. And that is the bottom line. The bottom line of this band is if the fan base is mostly there, if 80% of the fan base is here in 2018 going to shows from what they had in 2016, it makes no difference. So they're going to do what they want. They have the right to do what they want. And many people, they're stuck in tradition. They're stuck in their old ways. And many of the people, if you're complaining about Boyd not being there, not that you have that right. You clearly don't go to you don't go to different jam bands, or because DMB is really on that cusp of jam band slash like a Billy Joel who rotates songs in and out every night. He'll rotate 3 or 4 songs in and out. That's where DMB is between like what Billy Joel does and what Zac Brown and John Mayer do, rotating a couple songs in and out, and what the Fishes do, the String Cheeses and Umphreys. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, and I'm excited for this tour. I hope many of you guys are from just being out there, whether you were at the shows, whether you were listening like I was on the Periscope. Shout out to all the people, out there recording it for us. And I know people hate people recording videos at concerts, but as long as you're out of my way, it helps me to make decisions of what I want to do with the tour. So I never will knock anyone taking videos, as long as again it's done professionally, quietly. You're not throwing the phone up and blocking someone in the pit. I like this part of the social media. As much as people hate it and are mad, if someone wants to share it like I do, I take a couple songs off for a tour. I've seen the band 13 times. So if I take a song here and there and record it, and it helps someone else 3 tour stops later know if they want to go to this show, where they want to sit, to me, that's what it's about. It's about people helping people, giving people a little bit of a vantage point, giving people the audio of the show, and then they can decide what they want to do, how many shows they want to go to. But I'll definitely have more once we get some more taper audio that's on these different avenues on the internet. And then I'll make another video. Definitely have an album review once the album comes out. Thank you guys for the support, everyone that's watching. Definitely all the people that follow me on Twitter, ConcertViz34. That's all I got for today. Hope you guys have a good evening, and come into Monday morning with the energy of, yo, DMB killed it. And they did a great job for what they had to work with and the adversity they faced. Again, it's your boy ConcertViz34. I'm out.